welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kyra and this is my breast reduction journey, okay? So this is actually my very first post-op video. If you haven't seen my surgery vlog video, go watch it. It should already be up. But yeah, so here we are, exactly 4 weeks later. So before your surgery. So my surgery was on December 13th of 2019. And before my surgery, I had to go to pre-testing, which is basically getting you through admissions. And I had mine at a hospital. I didn't have mine at a surgical center. So it might be different if you end up having yours at a surgical center, but I ended up having mine at a hospital. So you have to go through pre-testing. And your pre-testing, some physicians or some surgeons, like, it just depends on them because they might order labs, they might order a chest x-ray, they might order all these tests. For me, I was actually in the hospital a week before my surgery, so I already had a lot of lab work and chest x-rays that they could go off of. So for me, it was just going in, showing exactly what medicines I was on currently, and basically just getting the registration out of the way so that for my surgical date I can just go in and don't have to worry about doing any paperwork. The thing that they will probably give you is this soap. It comes like in a little bottle, and you have to wash with that the night before and then the morning after. You'll probably see in my surgical video that I was like super hungry that morning. So the main thing is that I didn't eat super big the day before, and I think the last time I had ate was at like maybe 9 o'clock. So like I went from not eating at 9 o'clock that day before to waking up and still haven't eaten. So when they say don't eat after 12, like, eat to 11:59, okay? Because I was hungry. The day of my surgery, I had to be there at 9 a.m. My surgery didn't start until 11 a.m. So I don't know about everywhere, but they gave me basically a 2-hour window. So once I got back there, I did honestly not much. Like, I don't know why it was 2 hours, but I only changed into the gown, got an IV put in, gave some urine. Also within those 2 hours, you end up meeting the nurse that will be taking care of you pre and post-op. So she basically is the person that set up my IV, and she's also the same lady that I had when I came out of surgery. So that was great. I loved her. She was an amazing nurse. So you meet her. You also meet with the anesthesiologist. They come in and they talk to you. And for me, considering that I have severe asthma and that I was recently hospitalized like the week before, we kind of had like a long conversation. Like, I was like, sit down, get comfortable, let's talk about it. So the surgeon had already told me that if I do have any respiratory problems, that he was going to keep me in the hospital for at least 24 hours. So I really didn't want that. Like, I wanted to go home. So I was just like, listen, anesthesiologist, I need you and me to be on the same page, okay? I need you to do what you do and make sure you do it well, okay? So he was very understanding, and don't be afraid to ask questions, because I asked so many questions. I got rolled back at 11, so they were really good about starting on time. And then my cut time was at 11:48. So the cut time is actually when the surgeon comes in and starts the procedure. So the surgery for me lasted about 4 hours. I spent another hour in recovery, and then I believe that I spent another 45 minutes to closer to an hour back in the same room that I was pre-op, and with the nurse just kind of basically giving me a moment to kind of wake up. I know that some people don't get drains, so if you are wondering whether or not you will have drains or not have drains, that's just something to ask your surgeon about. I knew I was going to have drains since my consultation when I basically saw him for the first time, he kind of already told me that I was going to have drains for probably 7 to 10 days, just because I was going from such a large breast size, that I was going to have drains. So if you have any questions about if you are or if you're not, that is just something to ask your surgeon. Another thing that happens in that 2-hour window is that your surgeon comes in and he makes his marks. So I had already been shown exactly how the procedure was going to go at my consultation. So it wasn't too many questions between me and him. So basically he came in and basically drew exactly what incisions he was going to be making, and basically asked if I had any questions or anything like that. And he comes in right before you get rolled back. So that's a little key. Your surgeon should come in, and then a few minutes later, the team that's taking care of you should be rolling you back. So after the surgery, so I remember waking up in recovery. They do put this like lube on your eyes, and it honestly made me think I was going blind. Trying to open your eyes and it's just so blurry. I honestly was like, I can't see. Like on your car ride home, some surgeons do a little bit different about what they do post-op. Some people do a surgical bra which has a zipper in the front. Some people do tape, some people do wrap. It just depends on your surgeon. So just make sure, if you're curious, that's another question you might be able to ask him. But for me, my surgeon did this surgical tape. It was really thick. It was white, and they basically was holding place. Now, when you get out of surgery, your boobs are gonna be like boom, and they're not going to move. Like, they are so hard, they are set in place. But also on the car ride home, like the seatbelt that goes across you will compress, and that will hurt. So I was picking you up from surgery and put a pillow in between you and the seatbelt, and that will save you a lot of pain. When you do start driving, I didn't start driving until 3 weeks, because that is when I went back to school, so I had no other choice. So usually they give you the all clear to start driving once you are off your narcotics. So the pain medicine that they give you is usually going to be your narcotic, and you're usually on it for a week. So usually a lot of people are cleared to start driving after that week. So your second week, so you can start driving as early as your second week. I don't suggest it. So I started driving at 3 weeks, and it was terrible. Like the first time I drove, it hurt so bad. Your arms, if you could wait as long as possible, wait as long as possible, because it does hurt. So I used to just sleep on my side for basically everything, and then the surgery happened and I couldn't sleep on my side. So if you have a recliner, that is going to be your best friend. I didn't have a recliner, so the very first night I did end up sleeping in my bed, and I ended up getting a pillow that had like the back and then like the little arms on the side. And then from then on, I ended up sleeping on my couch, just because in the bed, I just tended to just slouch and slouch and slouch, and became very uncomfortable, considering that I had drains in. Any movement at all, like if you're not comfortable, any movement that you do, that like it's going to make it hurt 10 times worse when you have the drains in. So make sure that you are as comfortable as you can be, and then stay there. I was not having much drain output at all, and so I had to go in on that Wednesday. And basically once I went in, he kind of looked at him and he was like, I'm just going to go ahead and take him out, because it would have just been more work for him to try to reposition him. And he was saying whatever is in there, he didn't see an excessive amount, but the fluid and everything that was in there will get reabsorbed. So it wasn't like a dire necessary for me to keep him in. So he went ahead and removed him, which was the best day of my life. Another thing is that you are intubated, so you do have a breathing tube down your throat. And with me having severe asthma, I did end up getting a breathing treatment down the tube before they pulled it. But afterwards, that first day is going to be okay, but like that second day, I honestly can't remember when it stopped hurting, but your throat's going to hurt. It's going to be very dry. So I only took 3 weeks off, only because I was actually having me return to school. So I'm in the clinical program for respiratory therapy, and we were only out for Christmas break. So I actually got my surgery over Christmas break. Christmas break started on the week of the 5th, and basically I had my surgery that following week, and then I was out for those 3 weeks and returning to school on January 6th, 2025. It's take as long as possible. I know for some people they take 1 week and then they're back to work, which is fine because I know that everybody's situation is different. So it's not that you cannot return to work, but you're going to be physically hurting. Your body's not going to be ready. Honestly, I can't see myself returning to school within that week. So 3 weeks for me I thought was enough time, but now that I'm back in school, I'm back way more active because I actually returned to work that same week also. I kind of regret it just a little bit. I mean, school I couldn't avoid. I had to be there. Returning to work so early, I wish that I would have waited. So for me, if you have the luxury of taking off as long as you need, I would say at least 6 weeks, because here I am 4 weeks post-op and I'm still healing. I'm still having a lot of pain, and it's still not the best to just get out and do whatever. So I say 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a good set date if you're just looking for how long you should be out, but you can return back to work at least by that second week. So just depends on you, depends on how you're feeling. You might feel great after that second week, so it just depends on you. But for me, I wish I would have waited 6 weeks.